Welcome back to Interview Ninja Step 51. Seeing the opportunities that are all around you right now. Small and big asks. And the 3 personal networks that operate in all organizations, whether it's a commercial organization or a government, there are going to be these 3 networks which drive people's behavior.
So I did it this way.
Okay.
I wrote it like that, and then I tried to mime that,
Yeah.
even though I ended up basically just doing that and then writing it like I have it there. So I think that's probably better for me.
Okay.
And then I tried to I was just writing out a couple of things for each one.
Okay.
I'm thought meant 6 in total, so it's going
No. It can be all these.
Yeah.
These are never instructions. You're not at school anymore.
No, I know
They're
that,
just
yes.
like suggestions,
Yes.
recommendations almost, but
Yes.
thoughts.
Well, I was trying to do 2 for each, and I just got on to the third one. But I think you said it all when you said like a story, so that's what I picked for.
Okay. All right. Well, now let's do a time check. It's 25 to ish.
Yeah.
23 minutes to.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to have. So I think we're looking at 14 minutes ish. All right. Because I'd like to have maybe 5 or 6 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
Just for you to talk to me.
I'd like to talk to you about it.
But then you're going to have to go off and do this music lesson.
Yes.
Now, just for timing, are you then booked after the music lesson?
I'm booked after because I've got a rehearsal for a gig at my house.
Okay.
And I have to collect people on my way home, so I'll have to be pretty swift.
While you're in there,
Yarp.
part of a Christmas present that Tabby got is a sort of performing thing.
Karaoke machine.
It's brilliant. Have you seen it?
No, but I was told about it, and I will check it out.
If you can get Tabby to give you a performance, it's just a few minutes because you're there to teach them music. But if she'll do it for you, what I'd like you to be thinking about is the nature of performance. Learning opportunities are all around us almost all of the time. As Corben may want to be a music performer himself, he has a chance to apply critical analytical thinking to what makes children doing stuff so appealing. I've set him a small task about what is cuteness and practicing using critical analytical thinking. Okay, what is performance?
Yeah.
And what makes it engaging with what she does? Okay.
Just the cuteness, I imagine, but I'll assess.
Yeah, well, there's more. What is cuteness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's cuteness?
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, the background to all of this is critical thinking.
Yeah.
It's what we're trying to develop. Ways of thinking, ways of analysing, to influence how we're then going to perform an act.
I don't know if I'll try and talk to myself for 15, or to them for 15 minutes, 14 minutes.
Good. It'll be a record, won't it?
It'll be about 6 times my record, so I may come and find you halfway through.
You've had a very, very interesting experience doing that, Panto. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, so go for it.
I'll try and get the words out.
Okay.
All right, see you later.
In selling, there are small asks like, please can I come and talk to you about it? And big asks like, please sign the contract now, I can lend you a pen if you need one. This particular task is a big ask as it has time pressure, high expectations, and 3 soft skill areas involving emotional intelligence, social intelligence with IPD, interpersonal dynamics, and AFI, applied functional intelligence. He needs to learn a lot in a short time, and it is a kind of test. It's not like a school test where you pass or fail. It's so I can assess his progress and pace the subsequent steps so that it's not beyond him and is still stretching him?
I'm going to do pantomime 2017/18, and that's the world's most boring title. So this is my TED talk about the pantomime. I started on December the 7th of 2017, and I finished yesterday or was it 2 days ago, on January the 8th, 2018. So I crossed over the year, and I was working every day from about 10, 11 a.m. till about 10 at night. And it was pretty hard work. I'm knackered, but I made some dollar to go traveling, so it was worth it. That's a basic. I got the job through, I emailed some random people, and then someone got back to me and said, we've got a position on a show, and it just turned out to be that it was the pantomime in Bath. I'd emailed someone at the theatre and said any show, and they said, oh, come along to do the pantomime. And I watch it every year for my family, so I was excited to go and do it. And it was fun. It was fun. There's some vague family friends that do it, so I got to hang out with them a bit, and they knew my papa, Graham's son, and they were lovely to me, and it was just a laugh in general. It was a fun way to make some money, and I got some experience, and it was just good all round. But something Graham set me to do whilst I was there, because I did a lot of sitting in the wings, just sitting and kind of thinking. Doesn't sound like hard work, but it was, just to sit for 8 hours a day. But I did a lot of thinking about how the cast were instructed to act together, how they acted together off stage, the audience reactions, how audience members reacted to things that the cast said, and how they interacted on stage, and how the crew interacted with each other. And we'll cover it all because I've made an agenda. So first thing on my agenda is the interpersonal dynamics between the crew.
In large organizations, there are 3 different types of personal networks that influence the behavior of each individual in that organization. The first and most obvious is their official status. For example, their job title. But don't assume it means much about their power or what they do. The second network is the social network. It is informal, but a low-level person who is trusted as an expert, say, can have a lot of influence with people right up to the chief executive. The third is the secret network. People right across the organization can have personal connections through things like family, or working together in past companies, or even back to school days. These 3 types of network have different importance in different organizations, but also in different countries. I've worked in probably 30 countries, and I've found, for example, in Russia, the personal network is the predominant one. You can not worry at all about their official status. It's who they know and what they know. In Latin America, it's all about family. In Africa, it's all about what clan or tribe. And only I have found in the UK and in the USA are these personal factors eroded, and it just becomes about the organization and the official status that controls behavior. But don't assume that is the case. You never know who's married to who or who has a special relationship with who, and it's good to be on the alert for these kinds of things. The higher up in an organization you go, the more important these personal networks are. Just getting a job interview at all may depend on a personal network you have outside of the organisation. For example, in the UK, everybody wants to work for the BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, but your chances of getting a good interview with them is probably based on somebody giving you a personal introduction and recommending you.
And the crew. So from me to someone of an equivalent status, or maybe my boss, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So I was working in part of a team. There were 4 of us. We were called assistant stage managers, and you carry things about on stage and you set the scenes when the curtains come down, so that when they go back up again, the characters can be in a different place. I was working with 4 other guys doing that. I was the youngest one there by quite a way. Most of them were like late 30s, early 40s. I spent 5 weeks on this show. I should have said that at the start. It was a 5-week long thing with a little bit before. So 5 and a bit weeks. So I spent maybe a month and a half with these people in total. So my interactions with them started off, we were on an equal level. It was pretty adult to adult. I was thinking about being adult to adult. If you've watched our other videos, we were talking about how I normally teach a child, and I do a lot of nodding and agreeing, which I still do to Graham, but outside of this, I try to make it adult, which is a hard thing to try, and most people achieve that just by growing up. You're trying to force it and think about it yourself. It's a weird thing to try and do, but I'm trying anyway. It started off adult to adult. I agreed to help these guys out with what they were doing, and they agreed to help me out with what I was doing. So we stayed on a pretty equal playing field. But kind of as the show went on, and I realized the lack of ability and mental processing of basically all of them, and without trying to sound really arrogant, I mean, if you met them, you'd agree with me. They were lovely people, as in they'd make the same mistakes every single day. And I think we did 52 shows, and no word of a lie, they would do the same. For instance, they would walk into the same things 52 shows in a row and not realize that they'd done it yesterday or the day before 52 times. And every single day I'd have to say, are you all right? Or mind out for this thing that I moved to this place, because it's pretty dark on the stage, so you have to know where things are. 52 times I did it, and every single time they'd walk into things, forget what we were doing. It was like they'd never done it before, and we were 52 shows in. So by the end of it, I'd kind of intentionally, because of what I've been talking about with Graham, I'd slightly tried to raise myself up a bit. We were all under the management of the stage manager, who was a clever guy who didn't go to university or anything. He used to be the front of house man, which is the guy that shows the people to their chair. And he basically got a proper job. It was a proper job before, but he got a promotion to the stage manager through a number of ways, which I'll talk about with Graham later. And he was a good guy. He was smart, and he knew what he was doing. He was on the ball, but he was frustrated because he was with this team. I tried to raise myself up to his kind of level of management, and by the end, maybe they all thought I was just being a douchebag, but I was instructing people what to do and where to go, and they were listening and following what I was saying. So I'd kind of implemented some kind of status upgrade without actually having an official one, which was weird to observe, but kind of.
I hope you are enjoying listening and watching Corben as he goes on his journey. Remember, very few people even appreciate that there are the 4 different kinds of intelligence. You won't have been taught them at school or university. The emotional, the social, the applied functional, and of course the academic. Corben is benefiting from all the coaching we've had so far and the practice he's been doing, especially whilst he was at the Panto. He was actually earning, learning, and growing. And you can do the same thing. Hopefully you are on your own journey, using the fact that you've discovered the IPL, the Institute of Practical Learning, and appreciate that we've been set up to help you on your journey from school and academia into the world of work. Sometimes we describe the world of work as pretty tough, and it can be. You need to be realistic, you need to be practical, and there's wonderful opportunity and a really good life to be had once you understand the world of work. You can enjoy it, you can thrive,